think the best way to honor Andy is to share his story.
Andrew was very proud to wear his Army uniform. I love that about him.
And because it feels like he's still a part of our life, which he is. He will always be our baby boy. We're Mike and Jerry Weathers, the parents of Andrew T. Weathers, who was killed in action September 30th, 2014. He was Special Forces combat medic, and he was assigned to 7th Group, 2nd Battalion, based out of Eglin, Florida.
My name is Evan Lasensky, and I was the detachment commander for ODA 7221. I led my team with Andy Weathers, who was my senior medic for 7 months in Afghanistan and a little over 2 years, both in Afghanistan and in the United States. I remember we were told by the company sergeant major that we were getting a senior 18 Delta, which is a Special Forces medic, that he had a great reputation in 4th Battalion. He was supposed to be one of the studs of the group of 5 guys that were coming to our company, and we had arguably the most difficult mission that our company had. So our company sergeant major sent us the highest regarded guy, which was Andy. When there was time to joke, he was definitely a jokester. He was funny. He always got the guys laughing. Everybody really liked him. Super funny guy. But when it was time to go to work, he just kind of flipped the switch, and he was the guy that every leader wants on their team, whether that's in Special Forces or managing a Walmart. He's the guy that you could tell him to do something, and without a shadow of a doubt, know it would be completed without ever having to check on him again. He was just that kind of guy. We deployed to Afghanistan in April 2014. Our team deployed to Camp Simmons, which is outside of Kandahar Army Airfield in Kandahar Province, Afghanistan. It was pretty obvious fairly quickly that this was going to be pretty early. You knew it was going to be a different kind of fight. The fighting was going on, and at that point I heard my warrant officer come over the radio at our central location and say we had a WIA, or a wounded in action, and stand by for a 9-line. And a 9-line is our medevac call we use to medevac people out. So I got on the radio and asked, hey, let me get his battle roster number. And when he gave me his battle roster number, the first thing I heard, the first letter I heard was whiskey, and I knew whiskey was the last name for Weathers for Andy, and so I knew that it was Andy.
His commander told that Andrew had been wounded and that it was serious, and they weren't sure that he was going to make it, but he was in the process then of being medevac to Landstuhl Medical Center in Germany.
And there aren't any words to explain how that feels. Sleep doesn't come. Everything in your life has changed from the minute you walk in a room to just remembering what it's like, of the profile of them standing there to give you a hug, the weight of their arms.
That it was a really difficult loss, and it's hard because it's really difficult to explain just how close an ODA, an A team, a Special Forces team gets. I mean, you live, it's 12 of you, and those guys become your best friends and your brothers, and you love them and you hate them, and you spend every waking minute of the day with them. And losing one of them is, I think, just as bad, if not worse, than losing a family member. So Andy was awarded the Silver Star, which is the third highest medal the United States gives out. He was awarded the Silver Star for his actions for, at that point in the battle, ensuring that his position did not get overrun.
As much as we would like to have him closer to home, we knew that this is where he belonged.
It is a true honor to walk among those headstones. And if you ever attend Memorial Day events, you would be so moved by the people that you meet and the stories, and they just lay a wreath. They come with bits and pieces of the hardships of life, of battle, and so many of them are veterans. And then there's also this common mix of people that have no idea the vastness of Arlington Cemetery until they walk among those headstones.
We just know that so many of them were so young and that had left wives and children, that they couldn't afford to make a trip back here. So that was what we decided to do, and that is our goal, is to send families, deserving families. The first year we raised a little over $25,000, and we're able to send 3 families back for return trips here to Arlington in the first year. So we hope to double that each year.
Andy really was like the kind of guy that most Americans will never meet and never know exist. But there's lots of Andys out there that fly out into the night every night and go take the fight to the enemy and do it without ever wanting praise or recognition. They do it because their brothers are right next to them, and they wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And guys like that, guys like Andy who have made the sacrifices like that, deserve to have their stories told. When we were in Kandahar, we went and did our planning meeting. We had about a day to kill before we flew back to Helmand. And him and I were just kind of sitting in a Connex together, waiting for our flight, our helicopter. And we were just kind of joking and laughing, wondering what this mission was going to be like, because it had just gotten so big and so out of our control. And I remember Andy, we were kind of just sitting there. I remember Andy turned to me and said, Cap, he's like, I want to get in one more big fight before I go home.